Now people can hear you, but now people can
Can
see
they hear
you. Can you hear me? And everybody over there? It's going to go live over there, but I'm sure we're ready to rock and roll.
Cool.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. Welcome to the Local Bizcast. I am Dr. Pete here with a good friend with a great name. Anthony Rizzo, ladies and gentlemen, is joining me here from Pascack Valley and Northern Highlands.
That's right.
Sorry,
Yep.
City Lifestyle. Oh man, welcome, my
Thanks,
friend.
man. I'm
welcome.
happy to be here.
So hold on, I gotta stop the podcast real quick because I have been told from some of my friends who are very heavy into social, doing their podcasts. I need to ask my audience of a few for something. I'm looking for you guys to please click like and subscribe to the Local Bizcast. I never did that before. That was my first. That was my first attempt at asking people. He said, just ask people to subscribe, and hopefully people will subscribe.
That's a good start.
So please click subscribe. I don't know where it would show up. I know people like all on social media, they point in all these different.
I think on the bottom, underneath the video.
Bottom.
I think. Don't quote
Let's
me.
do it. But ladies and gentlemen, Anthony Rizzo, welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate it, man.
Great opportunity here.
So
I
yeah,
love what you've been doing. I've been watching, starting with Steve Fox, who's a good friend of mine, and
well, don't tell him that.
Steve knows everyone, so I
Right.
appreciate the getting us together. And
That was our introduction. So
yeah.
thank you very much, Steve, for getting Anthony in here. Appreciate it. So, but I love what you're doing, man. I love this, and the whole idea is that like this became available, and I'm not going to tell your story because I definitely want to hear your journey.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit more. Like, obviously, explain the magazines that you have and everything that you're doing. How did you get into it? Give me I want to know. I want to know where you came from, man.
Yeah, so I grew up in Washington Township. My parents still live there. I bought a house in Park Ridge about 6 years ago, so I'm as local as it gets, right? I went to Ramapo College, then I got my master's at Caldwell University.
That's still in Jersey?
That is still in Jersey.
So, okay, there you go.
So I always wanted to own my own business, right? In college, I had a little business doing some aquarium maintenance, maintaining doctors' fish tanks. Once I graduated, I knew I wanted to be in the business, but I didn't have my own business. So I went into sales, and I was selling medical laboratory supplies for probably 5 or 6 years.
All right.
Long story short, my cousin and her husband, who lived down in Bridgewater, New Jersey, were in corporate America. They decided they wanted to start their own business. Somehow they landed upon City Lifestyle, which is a franchise.
You're just going to start it somehow? There wasn't any investigation or anything like that into this?
They were digging around on LinkedIn, and they saw a good opportunity, and they said, we're starting a magazine.
All right.
And my family was like,
fair enough.
What the heck are you guys doing? A magazine? We're in the digital age. This doesn't make sense. They went with it, and they just crushed it. Out of the gates, they did awesome. They were rock stars. They quickly rose up the ranks at City Lifestyle, which is based out of Kansas City. They soon started a second publication down in Somerset Hills. So they're doing great down south. I'm kind of just watching them from my point of view, and I'm like, that looks kind of cool. Like, asking questions. We were away at my other cousin's wedding in Mexico, and they kind of were hinting at it, and they were asking questions to me, and they're like, you think you'd ever be interested in something like this? So I thought about it, and then I just said, what the heck do I have to lose? At the time, I wasn't married. I was just turning 30 years old. I don't have kids. So if there's ever time to take a chance and try something new, that was the time. So I just kind of went for it. And what better place to start than the Pascack Valley where I grew up?
I freaking love it. That's awesome. I think I'm just diving into the deep end over there, man. Have you done that before? Have you just dived into the deep end before? Or is this like a uncharacteristic of you? What?
Like I said, I had a small business in college with one of my buddies.
Yeah.
But I kind of stayed the course for like 6 years with one job. Was getting to the point where I knew I was reaching my potential and I needed a change. So this change came right at the right time for me.
Oh, that's perfect. All right. So tell me, all right, now you're in the business for how long now? 6 years? No, you were in the lab stuff for 6 years. How long have you been doing this for?
I launched my publication July of 2022.
All right.
And I started the process in January of 2022. So I'm coming up on 3 years of being in the business. About 6 months ago, I started my second publication with actually my cousin. Now we're in business together on this one. So between the two of us, we have 4 publications in New Jersey.
That's fantastic. Congratulations.
Yeah,
man.
Thank you. It's been a fun ride.
Yeah, holy cow. I mean, that's you had no experience with this at all.
No experience.
I mean, you had some sales experience. And, from what I hear, and I talk to a lot of my friends, they're in sales and stuff like that. What a valuable trait to have. And I don't know if it's learned or had or developed, whatever it may be, but it is a valuable skill, I should say.
You could take sales anywhere.
Yeah.
Sales is great, but you just got to be able to build relationships. And that's what I do every day with my business is talk to people in all different fields and just be relatable, be a trustworthy person, do good business, and business comes around. I mean, the last thing you want in any type of business is doing, some shady things, and you could ruin your whole outlook.
Right. Just doing something with integrity.
Yeah.
Listen, who am I to say that there's a certain way of doing things? Of course there's not, but do the right thing.
Yes.
Always do the right thing.
Right.
Make the next right move. And what happens? You make a mistake, then just make the next right move.
Yeah.
And then you make a mistake, make the next right move. I don't think that kind of life lesson's ever going to fail. You just keep on making the next right move, as you said. So,
and be accountable for your mistakes.
That's,
be accountable, and the next move needs to be the right move. So people appreciate that, and they see that in you. And just get involved in things. I mean, that goes a long way as well.
How involved are you? What are you up to? You're doing this.
I do.
You're doing this.
I do a lot of different things. You got to
be around. Yeah.
I'm part of the Rotary, Park Ridge Rotary. I'm
right.
Sergeant of Arms there. I'm the Vice President of the Pascack Valley Chamber of Commerce. I do a ton of networking. I built my businesses off of networking and just getting to know people like we got to know each other and making those connections. So my first year or two in business, I didn't miss one event. I was every place I could be. A lot of times you have to step outside your comfort zone, right? That's the only way you're going to grow your business. And sometimes I'd be, I don't know if this is worth it, but if you make that one right connection, all it takes is one good connection, and it makes that night totally worth it.
Makes your queen bee.
Yeah. So
that's my story. I call them the queen bee. Like I remember in chiropractic school, and I don't want to take the mic away from you, but in chiropractic school, we had to get a certain amount of experience, right? So patient visits, for example, say 250. And it takes a while to develop those types of relationships. But every once in a while, again, you're doing the right thing, you're taking care of them. Then this person just kind of starts to refer you to other people and other people. I call them the queen bee because I just absolutely love that. So you find a queen bee. The only way for you to find a queen bee is to be out there in the world where there are queen bees available to find.
Yep. And what happens is someone sees you one place and you start a conversation. Maybe nothing comes of it, but then you show up somewhere else. Or then they see you in their networking group, and all these kind of different things. You create these touch points, just like advertising and sales, that people gain trust. They see you're a part of the community. They see what you're doing. And you're not just trying to make a quick buck, and people appreciate that. And it goes a long way, not only in business, but in relationships.
Yeah. Oh God, we talked about that in some other podcasts. It's family, it's life, it's business, it's everything.
Yeah.
You're 100% right.
That's what it's all about.
So, but going back to that, going there and doing that. Everybody's gonna make fun of me, but I'm going to quote the movie, and I'm not going to quote it perfectly, so I apologize. Hopefully, there's no copyright infringement here. But the movie 50 Shades of Grey. Okay. You ever see that one by any chance?
I can't say I have.
All right, so I mean, I don't know. I didn't read the book at all. This was the first movie. My wife made me go watch it, and I'm not unhappy about it because within the first maybe 20 minutes of the movie, hopefully it's not a spoiler alert. This movie is like at least 10 years old, I think, but. So the main character girl goes to the main character guy. She's got to interview him for her roommate who's sick, and she's got to take over. And so she's just reading off a pad, right? And she's just like reading this question. And it says to him, "It looks like people think that you're very lucky," right? And he just like does a little bit of like, huh. And his answer was probably the most profound answer in my life. I loved it because he said, "I find that the harder I work, the luckier I get." And I feel like that is so true. And it's kind of what you're explaining, man. Because if you get out there and you're putting yourself, whether in your comfort zone or outside your comfort zone, and you're putting yourself out there to see and meet people and do things, especially in business, you're going to have the opportunities to find these people. And once you get this business whirling, whatever it is, people may think you're lucky. Oh, you were in the right place at the right time. Yeah, because you were in 4,000 other places prior to that place.
100%. You couldn't have said it better. It's a grind.
He's just quoted 50 Shades of Grey. What are you weirdo? No, just kidding, man. So, but yeah, I mean, I love that movie because of that line. But yeah,
I mean that's. I'm also a business coach for my franchise where I help new publishers, and that's the constant message is, everyone has a different way of doing their business and running it and being successful, but that grind, especially when you start a business, it's all about that grind. And that's how I've grown my business. So
tell me about the grind. I want to hear it, man. I want to hear day one. I know you remember it. Let me hear it.
I mean, it's not easy starting a business, as you know.
Yeah.
There's some, especially starting something that no one has any idea about. City Lifestyle didn't really have and he recognized no one knew what that was. There was no magazine in the area. Yeah, there's some competition, but this was a new franchise for this area. So going around for 3 or 4 months talking about a magazine that doesn't exist is not the easiest thing. But you get, those people that will believe in you, and you talk about the dream, and that's what really gets you started. You need, some people won't even talk to you until you have a product in your hand.
Right.
But it's about finding those people that do believe in you and can believe, it's more about selling myself than selling the product, because I didn't have a product to sell. It was about having people believe in me. And I still to this day, 3 years later, have most of those original clients that started.
Who was the first ad sale you had?
Andrew Ganji.
Look at that. There's a little shout out to you,
Yeah.
Andrew Ganji. Is he still in business? What does he do?
He's a local realtor.
Local?
Keller Williams, the Ganji Group. He didn't know it at the time, but that was my first sale.
Well, you heard it here first. Andrew, I expect you on this local BizCast. I expect a text message, DM, or phone call coming soon. But
yeah, great guy. We've become friends now. He lives locally in Woodcliff Lake. So yeah, he's an awesome dude.
Awesome. All right, so it was a grind. You got him. You had to. I mean, how do you sell something with no product? I mean, listen, I provide a service, right?
Yeah.
So you got to come in to get the service. That's fine. But you're like promising this product. How do you get people to trust you?
Well, first, you're not taking any money until the product is launched. So that's
Right.
one thing. I wasn't out there taking money from people. It's just telling people, I'm reserving your space for when this magazine launches, hopefully in 2 or 3 months. But it's more than just a magazine ad. It's about selling what the partnership is. And that's what I always say. It's a partnership. My goal is to make every person in this magazine successful, because if they're successful, it makes me more successful. And in the magazine, sure, it's an advertising vehicle, but we do stories. So we tell the story of the local business owners, what makes them different than the rest. We also limit each industry. So that was a great way of telling people, if as a real estate agent, if you're not one of the 3 people in here,
You're out.
You're out until someone isn't in there. So exclusivity really helps a lot when selling a magazine like this. So.
Oh, was that a trade secret? Did we just give it up to all these other magazines, or no? You're not giving out any information. Yeah, there's nothing to give.
There's nothing to give.
Yeah,
yeah. It's just what it is. I mean, some magazines and some different vehicles, you'll see a lot of one industry. I kind of pride myself on having a little bit of everything. I want to be a makeup of the community. So when someone flips through this, whether they need an electrician, a back doctor, a real estate agent.
I'm assuming I'm the back doctor.
We're still waiting on that one.
There we go.
But there's at least one of each thing in there that people can look at and say, "Oh, I could give them a call."
Yeah.
So it's truly a branding vehicle. It's a free magazine. No one pays for this magazine, so it's directly mailed to homes each month. It's about the community. It's uplifting. We're not breaking news in here. It's meant to be positive and bring up the community.
Well, obviously I know it. I've seen it, and it's awesome. And you're 100% right. It is uplifting. That's a great way of doing it. There's too much downlifting going on.
There's a ton of downlifting.
That's an oxymoron, but whatever it is, yeah, whatever it is. So that is awesome. I want to know about your competition with media, with everything on social media, internet based, and everything like that. As you said, I'm opening up this magazine. Who's looking at a magazine anymore? But you're doing very well with this. What do you think makes that different? And if people are still looking at magazines, people still want to see this stuff. Like, what do you think is the key point for that?
Yeah, so print, some print is really struggling. But what makes this print a little bit different, it's about a specific area. So when people receive the Pascack Valley, it's about their area. They know they're going to open it up, see familiar faces, familiar businesses, maybe friends and family. So that makes it different. The other thing is we do embrace digital as well. We're fully digital. So you could see my first issue, which I'm probably embarrassed of at this point, to my most recent issue.
Oh boy, we're gonna pick that up. Let's go.
It's been a journey, but
Yeah,
you start somewhere. So all these stories that are in here, I always say this is a coffee table piece. Hopefully this stays on the table for a few weeks until that next issue comes out. But even when that issue does go into the recycling bin, every story is online forever. So, we do a story on your business. You could share that on social media. You could share it through email. You could do anything you want with that forever. It's not like it just goes away.
Yeah.
Where traditional newspaper and stuff, once that goes in the trash, that's gone forever.
Especially the local newspapers and everything like that, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yes, and what really makes my magazine a little bit different than some of the competition is in Bergen County, there's magazines that focus on 1 or 2 towns that are very hyper local, and then there's magazines that focus on the whole county, whether you live in Mahwah, Edgewater, Wyckoff, whatever.
Yeah,
I'm kind of
broad.
I'm kind of the in betweener, where I'm community focused. I'm local, but I'm bigger than just one or two towns because these towns are so small and interchangeable. Everyone in the Pascack Valley uses those 9 towns from Woodcliff Lake to Hillsdale to Westwood. You're going to all of them. So it made sense for me to focus on a region rather than just one or two towns or the whole county.
Yeah. No, and you're 100% right. Now, I am, unlike you, not from New Jersey. I'm from New York. I had no idea. What do we have? 6 billion towns in New Jersey? It's like, is it like the most amount of towns, the most amount of counties in the history of the world, or what?
5 minutes, you could be in about 15 towns.
It's ridiculous. It's unreal. So, and I mean, I've been here now for probably almost 20 years. I still don't know New Jersey. I mean, is there a central New Jersey or is there not a central New Jersey?
My wife went to Rutgers. I say that's Central Jersey.
Okay. All right.
But over the what is that bridge down there going to down the shore?
Is that the Driscoll Bridge over there?
Anything under that is South Jersey to me.
So that's it. That's it. North Jersey above that, because I used to have an office in Perth Amboy, which is right over there. South Jersey below that, it's over, man. You're at the shore.
That's pretty much it.
And then I don't know. Who
Make
knows
it simple.
Yeah, right.
For us at least.
Oh man. All right. So you were talking about the fact that you, it's not just an advertising thing. You're trying to see you can help these guys get more successful. What is it that that entails? Like, what are you doing to help see that these ads are as powerful as they can possibly be? You're also trying to drive business their way. What are some of the things that you do to help these local businesses if they're advertising in the magazine?
Yeah. So part of a partnership, if someone's advertising, of course they get their advertisement. At some point in that partnership, they're also going to get a feature story. So we'll come in, we'll do a photo shoot, interview. I have a full-time publication director. I have local writers, local photographers. So all the content is generated here locally by me and my team. So that's one thing. We're also very active on social media. So any new partners we get, we announce them. We'll come in, we'll do a reel, we'll do giveaways on social media. So we're very active on social media. Another piece of my business that I haven't mentioned is I host 3 or 4 networking events every year. So as I said before, I'm a big networker, so I try and give that back to my clients. There's a lot of people out there that either don't have the avenues or they just don't network. But I throw these events, whether it be a restaurant. My last one was at the Porsche dealership up in Upper Saddle River.
Oh yeah, man! Look at you.
We had about 150 people there.
Is that all? 150? Tiny. What?
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm trying to grow them,
man.
No, but
150, man. That's incredible.
But the idea is just to bring people in the room that could potentially make connections that will help their business. So whether they're getting a lead directly from the ad or they meet someone that could refer them business, I want to bring value to them. My first event I ever did, my launch party for Pascack Valley, I had an architect who's in my magazine and a general contractor. They just happened to be in the same room. They linked up, and now they're doing a $300,000 job together. That's awesome, I mean, man. Ever since I heard that story, I'm like, I got to keep doing this because this works. Yeah. Obviously, that was no benefit to me, but I was able to benefit people by putting them in a room together. So those are kind of some of the different things that I do that add on to the partnership. I read a lot of these books or listening to a lot of these books, and like some of the key figures and the people who have been the most successful, when they have a room of 150 people, those people, those MCs, the people who are hosting, they're putting 2 other people together and nothing to do with it. They make no business out of it, but they keep on doing that. And every single one of those connections then remembers the host who did that. And there's always a time when it will come back. Again, you just kind of put out there, you're good and it will come back. And I think that's what's happening right now. I mean, you're just 100%.
It's completely selfless. You're trying to make these connections. You're trying to help other people. They're always going to remember you for doing that. Yeah. And again, I can't remember what audiobook it was I just listened to, and they were talking about this one woman who was the absolute maven at doing that. All she would ever do is she would see you and she would be 100 feet across the room. She would grab somebody else and be like, you two, Anthony, you got to meet, Jessica, for example, and like the 2 of you guys get a boom. And then they talk about the fact that Jessica and Anthony would be like, maybe months later or years later, be like, oh my God, it was so-and-so who put us together. Let's go ahead and take care of that situation. So I think you're hitting it on the head.
That's what I try and do. I mean, you're absolutely right.
All right. So my assumption, because the local BizCast here is to try to help my local businesses and grow your businesses. I want to know your journey, which we've heard and stuff like that. Yep. But what is it that you're looking for? What can we help you with? I'm assuming, obviously, always looking for more advertising customers and whatnot. So, but tell me about what your needs are, what your challenges are.
Yeah. So what I'm always looking for is twofold. I'm always looking to meet new business owners or old business owners, just people that I don't already know. Whether it be for advertising or maybe they could be a referral partner for one of my other advertisers or something. I want to meet as many and all business owners as possible in the area. That's really what I always try and do. And I try and emphasize that. It's not always about the dollar sign. It's about who you know and how you can make it work and help each other. So that's out of everything, that's really what I'm looking for. The other thing is my magazine is 50% content to 50% advertising. So there's a lot of content that needs to be filled up in this magazine. So we do at least 2 or 3 stories each month of just general stuff in the community. I'm part of Meals on Wheels. I'm a board member there. So we did a big story for our Thankful issue. Obviously they're not advertising, but it's a great initiative in the community. They've done great work for so many years. I know you had Jen Erity on. We did Spoil Me Pink. We did a story on that in our women's issue.
Amazing.
So like any good stories that are out there about the area that will bring value to the magazine, I'd love to hear about it. So those are the 2 things that I'm always looking for: meeting people and stories.
There you go. Content and advertising. What's more difficult? The advertising.
Probably advertising.
Yeah.
I mean, at first I thought content was going to be really difficult. At first it's a little challenging, but as soon as people know your magazine, people are constantly sending me messages, emails. Everyone's got a great idea. But we're really looking for, there's only so much space in here. So we're really looking for those special opportunities to write those stories.
What would be ideal for you? I mean, as you said, you talked about Meals on Wheels. You talked about Spoil Me Pink. Like, is there something out there that you want to get that you haven't been able to get yet? Putting you on the spot.
You really put me on the spot.
And it's warm in here, so I'm going to make you sweat a little bit. So, but yeah, I mean, what is it, 60-something degrees out there today?
Yeah, it's not
crazy,
bad. Not bad. I wouldn't say there's anything really specific that comes to mind. Every month we have a different theme. So that's kind of how we base our stories. So right now I'm working on the home issue. We have an investment theme coming up, and then we go into our women's issue and our men's issue. So anything kind of centered around those themes would be ideal targets. These themes are meant to be very general. You can invest in your health, your wellness, your home, your car. So anything that kind of goes with those themes would be a good opportunity.
Got it. Oh, man, that's super cool, man. I love your story. I love that you just dived into the deep end and just went at it and never let that. So we've got local entrepreneurs. We have young, we have old. We were talking about this with Jen as well, right? These interns who are trying to figure out what they want to do. Yep. I mean, tell me, I guess I would ask you, like, if you had to do it all over again, would you do it the same? What would you do differently? What kind of, give me a little bit of the side story over there, because I want to know more about you as a business owner, as an entrepreneur.
If I could do it over, I would have found my own business sooner. I just kind of worked for someone for 5 or 6 years and just kind of going through the motions. And, made decent money. It was fine, but I should have taken that leap of faith a little bit sooner. In my opinion, the younger you are, the more, you could fail. It's not going to hurt you. You're going to learn from your mistakes. So even if I did fail, I would have been able to get up from that.
Yeah.
So I think people, if you have an idea or if you want to be an entrepreneur or you want to start your business, what are you waiting for? I mean, just go for it, because you won't regret it. You'll either learn from it or you'll be very successful and meet a lot of great people along the way.
I've been saying this a lot. I get a lot of compliments. We've had very successful practices, and there's been a lot of success here. And I don't say it come with failures, because I just don't ever stop. You know what I'm saying? So you talk about failures. Okay, lessons, that's fine. But, when something doesn't work, you pivot and what do you do next? Well, you put your right foot in front of your left, then your left foot in front of your right, and you just keep on going.
You figure it out.
You just keep on going. If that didn't work, you keep on going. I don't let anything be a failure. And I think that's kind of what you're saying. Like, there's no reason for something to have been a failure, just maybe a lesson, and then pivot and lesson and pivot. But I guess there is like the fear. If you had a family and you had somebody relying on you, you do have to derive income. You have to put food on the table. You have to put a roof over their heads. But I also agree with you. Do it now.
Yeah, the sooner the better.
I mean, it was a guy who I knew. I'll throw your name out there, Steve Von Tempo. Thank you, buddy. He went out on his own after a long time, and his I would guess his advice to me was, do it now. Right? I should have done it before. So pretty much everybody does the same thing. And I did end up doing it. And I thank him every day for that, because I don't know if I would have the kahunas to get out there and do it on my own if it wasn't for him.
And I mean, business is scary. But now that I have my own business, I would never want to do it any other way. I mean, people always say you leave your business to, get out of the 9 to 5. Now I work 8 to 12 o'clock at night. I mean, I'm a grinder, but I love it because I could take it as far or not as far as I want. The potential is unlimited. So that's what you get, being a business owner for yourself.
Is there freedom and flexibility? Yes. Is there freedom and flexibility? Hell no. My friends are like, oh man, you own your own business. You can work whenever you want to work. Okay. Yeah. If I don't work,
Yeah, the buck stops here.
That's exactly right. So I always said that. So you're right. Comes with a
It's the best and worst thing in the world, right?
It is a definite double-edged sword. That's for sure. All right, talk to me. You like some things over here. Actually, before that, because I was going to talk about the animals, but I'll get to that too. But yeah, 3 years in business, and you've already achieved the President's Club for your franchise in the last 2 years. Tell me a little bit about that. That's with the City Lifestyle.
Yeah. So City Lifestyle, being a part of a franchise, they have these incentives that if you reach a certain tier, and they keep making it harder every year.
Of course. What, are they going to make it easier? Absolutely not.
You go on these kind of exclusive trips with the founders, the owners, and everyone pretty much at corporate that's up top. So it's a great opportunity. Being in the magazine industry, there's not many people I could talk to around here that kind of get what I'm doing. So it's a great opportunity to obviously relax and enjoy, but kind of put our heads together with other people kind of at my level that are doing the same thing in other parts of the country that I can, bounce ideas off, see how they're doing things, and, grow from it.
Awesome, man. I love that. All right, now, because we only have, is it ridiculous? Like, we only have like 3 or 4 minutes left. Everybody keeps on saying, it goes quick, guys. Don't be nervous, because I need more people to come on in over here. So, you love animals. You like to give back, foster care. So, like, what was that? Was that
ever since I was a kid?
Yeah.
I grew up with dogs, but I had reptiles. I bred reptiles. I was in the fish business.
True.
Coral, saltwater fish, freshwater fish.
You know how to keep these things alive?
I do.
I do not know how to keep these things alive.
That's what I used to do.
That's unbelievable. Is it as difficult as I make it out to be, or no?
No, but it depends what it is. Some things are difficult.
No, the fish. Come on, the tropical fish.
Well, saltwater fish are different because most of them are pulled straight out of the ocean.
Yeah.
So they're not used to being in an aquarium. So a lot of them aren't as hardy. But freshwater fish are pretty easy.
Oh man, that's probably where I went wrong. That's for sure. So. All right, we've got a couple of minutes left, so I just want to wind down. I want to get more of what you want out there and how we can help your business. As you said, we need advertisers and we need content. We've got a few different issues going up. But is there anything else that we can help you in your business?
Well, how can I help you?
Me? All right. For me, right now, this is just trying to build the local bizcast to try to help other people. I will say this, though. This podcast room, which is beautiful, this is for rent. So if you guys wanted to come in and rent this thing. And then, of course, I have the Spine and Health Centers. We have a Spine and Health Center in Montville, which is where this podcast
beautiful
is.
Place, by the way.
Thank you very much. We have the one in Park Ridge, and we have the one in Closter. Is Closter considered the Pascack Valley?
Closter is not.
It's not.
Northern Valley.
Is that in the other one?
Northern Highlands is Upper Saddle River, Allendale, Hohokus. So the other way. A
little bit west, not so much east over there. But we can. So what is the Pascack Valley and North?
So Pascack Valley consists of 9 towns: Emerson, Westwood, Washington Township, Hillsdale, Woodcliff Lake, Park Ridge, Montville, Riverville, and Old Pen.
Could you say that 5 times fast?
I could say that all day long because that's all I say.
I bet you absolutely could.
So the new magazine's a little bit easier with just 4 towns.
Right, the Northern Highlands one.
Yeah, I could say that in my sleep. I probably have dreams about those 9 towns.
That's freaking awesome, man. Well, listen, thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
I hope we were able to get some of your word out there about what you've been doing. But I do have to announce my next guest. So she is from one of these Pascack Valley towns, Woodcliff Lake. I actually know her from town. And her name is Stacy Bender, ladies and gentlemen. Stacy Bender is going to be joining us next week. That's Wednesday, December 18th at 8:30 a.m. Back to our regularly scheduled time. I'm going to find out who likes what better. I don't know. I mean, sometimes 5 p.m. is going to be a little bit easier for a business owner.
Yeah.
Like the coffee shop guy down the street can't come in at 8:30 in the morning on a Wednesday.
True.
What's wrong with him? What are you talking about? I'm just kidding.
For this opportunity, he should be able to come in anytime.
You close it up. Nobody needs coffee at 8:30 in the morning on a Wednesday. Are you kidding me? It's like hump day. Who the heck needs all that?
Bring the coffee here.
Bring here. That's not a bad idea. Guys, come buy your coffee out of here and everything like that. But so Stacy Bender, I hope you're ready because you're coming on next. That's 8:30 on Wednesday, December 8th. Anthony Rizzo, Pascack Valley. Let me see if we can get this on the camera. You want to lift this thing up over here? So I'm going to show you my camera skills over here.
This is our December cover. Kelly Svensson. She's lives in Park Ridge.
All right, local Park Ridge girl. What do we? Is she a business owner? What is she? Or
interior designer. She also is an equestrian farmer. She's the only, what I've been told is she's the only person with a horse in Park Ridge. So she
on property horse?
Yeah, on property. See the horse in the cover?
There we go. Yeah, amazing.
So it's pretty cool. She set up her whole house for us in September for Christmas theme to do this photo shoot, and it was a great cover shoot.
Awesome, man. That is great. Ladies and gentlemen, you heard it here first. Anthony Rizzo from the Pascack Valley City Lifestyle, the Northern Highlands City Lifestyle. Thank you so much, buddy.
Thanks again. I appreciate it.
Yeah. once
Always a
again.
pleasure.
All right, guys. We'll see you next time.